Welcome back. We are continuing to track Francine here on WDSU. You heard from parish leaders and officials everywhere in the area as they prepare for the storm and encouraging residents to get ready. And evacuation orders are in place. State of emergency has been declared. And the latest update right now from the 4 o'clock hour is that a hurricane watch is now in effect for the New Orleans metro area.
That's right, as that storm just took a little tick to the east. Also, we should just mention really quick, if you have any city business with the city of New Orleans, you got just about 30 minutes. After that, City Hall will be shut down both Wednesday and Thursday, just out of an abundance of caution. The mayor saying this is just to ensure the safety of residents and city employees. But just to get an idea, perspective of what Francine is doing right now, let's check in with meteorologist Derek Sibley for the latest. Derek.
Well, guys, it's still very heavy rain that continues to come down in portions of southeastern Louisiana. Right now, a lot of us, though, still encompassed within the lighter green area, would still indicate some of the lighter shades of the reds, lighter shades of the rain here, however, still falling here in some spots. But here is some of where the more moderate to heavy rain that is currently falling. You can see mainly towards the South Shore near the metro as well, near Marrero, and also up towards New Orleans. Kenner at the airport also looking at some heavy rain here too. Let's go up towards the causeway, looking at some mainly lighter greens here, which indicates some light drizzle that's currently falling. That's moving north up towards the North Shore. St. Tammany looking a little bit drier, but looking at some patchy areas of some light rain. But overall, that's the latest radar picture right now. You can see some heavy rain bands just off to the east. All right, so over the last 6 hours, yep, it's been pretty wet here for all of southeastern Louisiana. In fact, here's a look at the last 12 hours, really ever since the start of the day here today, since the early morning. We have been getting rain band after rain band after rain band that continues to move through. And widening out the picture, there's actually a couple of weather phenomenons that are happening. You got this nearly stationary frontal boundary position across the northern Gulf of Mexico, and then we're also watching Francine. So what's happening is that we're encompassed within a lot of upper level moisture here for us to tap into as well, which is why things have been so humid, so saturated for us to deal with across southeastern Louisiana, out ahead of the main event, which is the system here in the southwestern Gulf, Francine, of course. Now, it looks like the system's starting to overcome at least a little bit of some of the drier air entrainment that's been giving the system problems here so far the last few days. I'm sorry you noticed that the system is starting to moisten up here a little bit. We'll see what happens by the time it gets up towards the northern Gulf. But sometimes when systems do get to the northern Gulf, the dry air still tends to give them problems. But we'll see what happens with Francine. But here's the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 4 o'clock. Moving northeast at 10, winds are at 65 miles an hour, pressure is 987 millibars. And now we'll talk about the zoomed in version of this cone, because the latest advisory he has at 4 o'clock, very close now to New Orleans Metro. In fact, we're actually on the eastern side of the forecast track as the system comes ashore. But keep in mind, this goes to show us where the center could track. Doesn't show us what the impacts will be here for any particular location, just where the center could go. Basically anywhere west of Baton Rouge near Lafayette, as far east as New Orleans is what we're looking at right now. So that's why the National Hurricane Center has issued hurricane watches for the New Orleans metro area, portions of the South Shore, river parishes, but down towards the south and west near Terrebonne Lafourche Parish, and west of that under those hurricane warnings here. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. But flood alerts here that continue for all of southeastern Louisiana. It's that flood watch until Thursday morning. Today, the level here for the flooding is a little bit on the low side, but you'll notice as we head into tomorrow, we bump it up big time to a moderate risk. That is a level 3 risk of some flash flooding. And the reason for that is because we're looking at anywhere between 5 to 10 inches of rain, with locally higher amounts also possible in some of those heavier bands that do set up as Francine continues to move towards the northeast. And you'll see how wet it will continue to be across southeastern Louisiana, out ahead of the main event here of Francine moving through. Here's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The winds may begin to pick up a little bit, but still very wet across the region. And by 12 o'clock, noon tomorrow, still heavy rain and also some occasional gusty winds that could set up here. There's the center. One of the models here brings it ashore across south central Louisiana as we head into tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. And meanwhile, out ahead of that center, a lot of heavy rain, Gusty winds here at times as well. In fact, the center could track right over New Orleans, according to at least this model here, showing that as we head into tomorrow night. And then you can see it moving up towards Mississippi by the time we reach early Thursday morning. And then by Thursday afternoon, we're in much better shape here locally, as the system will be well to our north by that point. So let's talk about the zoomed in version of what could happen as we head into the day today through at least the rest of the day into tonight. Heavy rains, just rain band after rain band that's going to continue to move through tonight into tomorrow morning. Heavy rain here as we head into Wednesday morning around 11 o'clock. Here's 3 o'clock Wednesday. Occasional gusty winds, heavy rain, flooding problems here for much of the metro starting tomorrow afternoon and through tomorrow evening here, it looks like, where those reds really show very heavy amounts of rain that are going to continue moving through. And again, some models show that the center getting very close to us, if not over us here, as we head into the day tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it basically moves to the northeast. And again, much better weather conditions as we head into Thursday afternoon. Let's talk about the wind gust here. So we talked about the rain, but what are our winds going to look like as the system gets closer? We're talking about 20 to 30 mile per hour winds at least throughout the day today, potentially at times. And as we head into tomorrow morning, you can see the winds begin to increase, especially from the south and west. We could be looking at very strong onshore winds. Coastal flooding, probably a concern more than likely down towards the Grand Isle area. And look what happens as we head into Wednesday evening. Anywhere between 60 to as high as 70 plus mile per hour winds that could begin to move through the area. But keep in mind, these are wind gusts. So we could be looking at these wind gusts happening at times throughout the area. 40 to 50 mile per hour gust here heading into early Thursday as the center tracks near us. And here's 5 a.m. on Thursday, still looking gusty, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. That's when a lot of this begins to subside as far as those wind gusts here are concerned. So your WDSU first warning 7-day forecast tomorrow, Francine, and then after that, we're looking at much better conditions Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mostly sunny with some rain chances again Sunday through Tuesday.
All right, the window is closing for you to do whatever preps you